Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of Homebrew Buffonery. Okay, so today I'm doing something for my friend who lives not too far away and don't see nearly often enough, and he tried some of my first degree and tried some of my Twinkles Audition, I think it was, which are both really light sort of ales, and he says still too bitter, still not clean enough. So what I'm doing today is I'm doing an American standard, what is it called? An American lager, which is 1B in the BJCP guidelines. I'll go through the stats in a minute because my water's just coming up to temperature. I'm going to mash in and I'll come back and I'll give you the usual 2 minutes of waffle. My recipe for this is super easy. It's because I'm using 2 pots now. I'm using 15 litres of water. I'm using 2 kilos of Pilsner malt that I got from Malt Miller, and they crushed it fine for me. They do different levels of crush, and they crushed it fine for me. And then I'm only adding in 8 grams of Saaz hops at 60 minutes in the boil. And my hope is to get something really light, really straw coloured, and just a little bit of bitterness, which is what my mate likes, because when he stuck it in the fridge, he'll have a belly with it, and you know, it'd be like the lagers he kind of likes. So, like I say, 2 grams of Pilsner malt, 8 grams of Saaz at 60 minutes in the boil, and the stats it gives me are an OG of 1041 and final gravity of 1007, which is where I sort of want to get with this, really, because I'm looking for something a bit drier. A lot of these ales are quite sweet because the final gravity is above 1010. ABV is 4.5, and IBUs is 8.5, and SRMs, the colours, are 3, so it's going to be super pale. Everything more or less on there is ticked green. There's a couple of SRM things and different styles of SRMs, but otherwise, mashing at 64 degrees, try and get as much of that sugar in as possible. And I'm going to put in some phosphate buffer. Where is it? That stuff. Is that stuff? Yeah. 5.2 pH stabiliser. I'm going to put some in there, like 10 or 12 grams or something stupid like that for 15 litres. So that's the ingredients. The only other difference that I'm doing today is that I'm giving this 30 minutes. Got mashed in now. It's 30 minutes standing with no circulation or anything like that, just to see what happens basically. And it gave me a bit of time to set all the pipes and the pumps up between us, because I'm off rockstarring it tonight as well, so I've got to sort of rush through the day a little bit, but you know, we're doing all right. This water's coming up to temperature. Remember, this is my temperature control here, thermometer in there, tiny little burner on at about 6 o'clock, keeps it perfectly at 64 or 66 or whatever I want to keep it at. I have the double pump going with the old spargy arm thingy, but that's not worked brilliant for me with a 2-pot system, so I might have to rethink. Very good for the 1 pot though, and that's about it really. So next time I'll see you is, I don't know, it's a magical mystery tour. Right, so we're 30 minutes in now. This is at 10:20:21 already, and that's just been sat there. So what I'm going to put my spargy arm thing on, and I'm now going to try and get these 2 pots and these 2 pumps all going so it's even. I'll just turn a little burner on there. That needs to go up a little bit, and wish me luck. This next couple of minutes of video is going to be tortuous, but I'll edit it and it'll look smooth as silk. Okay. Open. No leaks. Open. No leaks. Go. Okay, so both pumps are on. That one is bobbing along nicely. I'll turn that down. So the idea is I've got to get the water from here through these pumps
matched evenly so that one doesn't outdo the other. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this one, which is the pump from the outlet from this one, to stem the flow, I think, just to keep it even. Okay, I think I have it just about even. You can see how much is coming through the outlet, the inlet there, and that must be matched by this, by the sparge arm here. I'm watching just this little bit of grain here and seeing how far underneath the surface it is, and it looks okay. So what I'm going to do is when I pack away, I'm going to leave these pumps in these positions here, so that way I know that it is balanced, more or less. And there's just a tiny bit of alteration to make on each brew day. You can see that the water isn't coming out very strongly out of this sparge arm on the 2-pot system, which is the one flaw with it. I think I preferred me a little bit of siliconose with Lutac in the end of it for this, but that works. That sparge works really well on the 1-pot system. But for this, it's a bit more grain. I've just got to be a bit more careful, stop the pumps from clogging. But otherwise, all going swimmingly well. 30 minutes to go. I'll see you then. Right, we are about 45 minutes into the mash now. Pump's going well. Everything's nice and balanced. Yay! Minimal spillage. Double yay. So what I'm going to do is I've got my refractometer there, and I am going to have a quick test to see where we're up to. I need a starting pre-boil gravity of 1031 according to Brewer's Friend. So let's have a look. A couple of drops on the blue bit. Shut up. Point it at a light, and we're at 1031 already after 45 minutes. Right. So what I find is that you get most of your conversion within the first half hour. You get 95% of your conversion in the first half hour. The last half hour you'll be lucky if you get 3 or 4 extra points. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave it the extra 15 minutes, and what are you doing, Kat? And I'm going to leave it the extra 15 minutes, and then I'm going to do a pre-boil gravity then, and I'm going to alter my brewing efficiency because I work at 65%, so I'm work on getting 65% of the sugars out of this grain using my system. So I might get a little bit of a better efficiency there, which would be great, and that might be the way forwards, to leave it stand for a little bit and then start to put some water through it. That'd be good. Right, so here's the BJCP guidelines for an American lager. It's not really a lager, it's using ale yeast, but don't mind, brewed officer said so. It's 1B in the guidelines, and it says overall impression: a very pale, highly carbonated, light-bodied, but well attenuated lager with a very neutral flavour profile and low bitterness, which this certainly will have. Served very cold, it can be very refreshing and a thirst-quenching drink. So, like I said, I'm brewing this for a mate of mine who I don't see enough of, and I've had 3 or 4 goes, and it's always says, "Oh, less of everything, less of everything." So, I've actually got 9 grams of SARS in this for just bittering, and the rest of it's just Pilsner malt. So it's going to be like light hoppy water in it, straw coloured. And he says, "Oh, what Pilsner? But I think this might do the job." Aroma, it says there's low to no malt aroma. Hop aroma range from none to light, so you're getting the idea here. Spicy or floral hop presence. Clean fermentation character is desirable, which is why I'm using USO5 because it's quite neutral really. And a light amount of yeast character is not a fault. Light DMS is also not a fault, so it could taste. DMS is corn, isn't it? Like sweet corn, that kind of flavour, but I don't know. Appearance, very pale straw to medium yellow. Well, according to Brewer's Friend, it's 2 on the old SRM colours, which is virtually clear, isn't it? White frothy head, seldom persists. That's fine, but very clear, because I didn't put any wheat. I should have put some flaked wheat in, actually. Kept the head on. Well, maybe not. Relatively neutral palate for the flavour. Crisp and dry finish, which is 1008. Hopefully that'll be get it nice and dry. Moderate low to low grainy or corn-like flavour. That might be perceived as sweetness due to the low bitterness. Hop flavour ranges from none to moderately low. because it's sours, floral and spicy. Hop bitterness at low to medium low level. Balance may vary from slightly malty to slightly bitter. It's just a really neutral drink, isn't it? Low to medium low body mouthfeel, which will help with the refreshingness of it. Is that a word? Don't matter. Very highly carbonated and a slight carbonic bite on the tongue. Now, I've talked in tasting videos about the carbonation flavour kicking through, and if it comes through on this, then that's fine. Strong flavours are a fault. Often what non-craft beer drinkers expect to be served if they order beer in the United States may be marketed as Pilsner beers outside of Europe. Okay, but should not be confused with traditional examples. And it goes on to history about German immigrants bringing the Pilsner-inspired lager to the US, heavily influenced by Prohibition and World War II and all the nonsense that happened there. Heavily promoted beer style, so you get your Miller Lights and your Coors and your Budweiser and all those sorts of things. And the stats are really low. IBUs 8 to 18, SRMs 2 to 4, dead low. OGs dead low, 1040 maximum, 1050 maximum. FG 10004 is the low end. That'd be good. That'd be proper dry. 4.2 to 5.3. And the commercial examples: Budweiser, Coors Original, Miller. Just standard things. Here's the tags. I like these tags. It says standard strength, pale colour, bottom fermented lager, North American traditional style, pale lager family beer. That's balanced. Back to the brew day. Right, I've come down to the floor because I've got my boil kettle here, 20 litres. That'll easily hold my 15. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to drain from my non-grain pot. I've no idea what the technical name for it is, but that one. I'm just going to take this connection off here and pop her in there. Should have not really thought this out, have I? Okay, a bit of an alteration there. That's all I need to do now is put the pump on for that one, and it'll dump all the wort into it, and then I'll empty what's out of this one with the grain in it afterwards. Right, so the wort is coming out of here, out the back, through this pump, but I don't want to change the handle because it's balanced now, so it's a really low sort of drop into the pan there, but well, we'll leave it be and see how it goes. Otherwise, it's nice and clear. It's nice and clean as well, isn't it? That's good. I'll get back to you when the boil's on. Right, so all wort transferred reasonably safely to boil kettle, which has now got my full wok burner on it. I have done a quick calculation. I don't know the thing, but what I did was I know that the pan is parallel, so I measured the diameter, which is 30. And I know that pi r squared is the area of the bottom of the pan, times that by the height in centimetres, and I get 13.1 litres in there. So I've only lost 1.9 litres to my grain, which I'm going to bung onto compost heap now from my veggies. So that's on full burner. I'm going to give it a good whack of an hour of a boil, and then get it cooled down. And I'm still undecided about how I'm going to ferment. Am I going to use USO5 for both, or should I use some fake? I think I'll use USO5 for both, just because I want to get it right for me mate. So I've done my experiment with me mash rest and then recirculate. So I'm happy for today. So I'll see you in a little bit when we're cooling down. The pre-boil gravity was 1034, which gives me an efficiency of sort of 68ish, I think, something like that. Let's just have a quick check. 68 gives me better. 72% efficiency. Come on, Twinkles. Come on, that there brewery. Awesome. 1034, so I need an original gravity of 1046
which I'll check out with the old refractometer. And then the final gravity is going to be 10.08, so it's changed. 5% ABV. SRMs have gone down. IBUs have gone down. How very strange. Interesting stuff. Okay, perils of home brewing. I did see something on the forum the other day, and it says, I want to start home brewing, what do I need to do? And the bloke who answered him says, do you like washing dishes? I've no idea what that was. He says, do you like washing dishes? Because that's what my sink looks like now. Oh my God, 5 minutes cleaning, sorted. Okay, so we're at a boil. There is the hops on my little hanging device. 60 minutes. And there we go. So what I'll do is I'll wait 45 minutes and I'm going to put half a teaspoon of wheel flock in there and then see when she's cooling down. Right, so we've done our boil, we've cooled her down, took about 8 minutes, cooling the outside of this pan, super quick to do it. My original gravity is 10.45, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to whirlpool it, I'm going to leave it for half an hour, I'm going to go and do some shopping before I go out and be a rock star. But I forgot, I've got myself a special little tool. I've been to a famous hardware store in the UK that's got a couple of letters and in its name, and I bought myself a plaster stirrer and stuck it in my drill. So I'm going to give it a good old whirlpool. I'm going to star sand it first, obviously. I'm going to give it a good old whirlpool, then I'm going to pop the lid on, leave it, and I'm going to siphon round the outside, see how that goes.
Right, I did the whirlpool, come back, done my shopping, put it all away, and I'm just about ready to transfer it into the thing. Has the whirlpool worked? No, I'm not going to show you. It hasn't worked, it's just not worked. So I might need to think of a better way. All the rubbish that you usually find hasn't settled out at all. So I'm just going to, you'll see when I transfer it into these fermenters now what the state of it is. But what I'll do is once I've pitched the yeast, give it 4 or 5 days to get through its first bit of fermentation and give it a proper good shake, and all the rubbish in it will settle out and it should clear up pretty nicely. And I will gelatin fine it as well, so it should be pretty clear when I'm done. But let's get it transferred to the fermenters and then get some yeast pitched.
Wow. Right, so you can see all the rubbish that's in the work there. It's the whirlpool's not worked at all, but all this stuff here will form clumps as it ferments, and then after 4 or 5 days, you'll give it a shake and it'll all settle down to the bottom, but I'll have about that much at the bottom. So I'm getting that much. Well, I'll probably get sort of 15 bottles between the two. Even that one's starting to settle out now.
Right, so we're at the end of the day now. All I need to do is pitch my USO5. And what I've got half a midges of some Kvake left there, so I'm going to put that in as well, see what happens. But I've got there's 2/3 of a packet there. I'm going to put half of a packet into each one with some of that Kvake, and then stick it understairs in that there brewery, and see how we get. Hopefully get it down to 10.08. Anything learned today? Well, probably loads really. I'm in a bit of a rush now, but that paddle thing, does it whirlpool it properly? Not sure. I'll have to find another way to whirlpool it a bit better. But it should be okay. Once it ferments out and it settles out, it'll be fine. And well, there you go, that's another brew day over. Keep an eye out for my new homebrew channel, which is called the Homebrew Journey, and I'll upload all my videos onto there, and you'll be able to watch everything from the start. And it's a reasonable resource. You know, there's a lot of waffle in there, but there's a bit of a resource in there as well to help you out. As usual, you can like and you can subscribe, that's what you do, and you can leave a comment about my Twinkles, what I'm going to call it today. It's about 12:30 now on a Friday morning, Friday afternoon, which is good because I'm just about to go on my gig. And let's call it this Twinkles Brunch. That's what it's called, Twinkles Brunch. It's an American lager. Like I say, you can like and you can subscribe. Leave a comment below if you like. And why don't you go out and brew something for breakfast?